state of Oklahoma is one of the first states in the country to ban critical race theory from our schools. In the state of Oklahoma, there will be no state-sponsored racism. In the state of Oklahoma, in our schools, you will not tell a child that they are inferior because of the color of their skin. You will not tell a child that they should be ashamed because of the color of their skin. And as Secretary of Education, as a history teacher myself, and most importantly as a parent, I am so glad that we will keep left-wing indoctrination out of our schools. Our kids need to know our history. They need to know why America is the greatest country in the history of the world. And they need to know all of our history. But they need to know that America is the greatest country in the history of the world because of the principles this country was built upon, because we believe that individual rights were given to you by God, and because we believe that morality and Christian values are the way to live your life. So thank you so much to the state board, to the legislature who passed the law, to the governor who signed the law, for making Oklahoma one of the first states to...
Number one, not you bragging about Oklahoma being one of the first states to ban CRT in the classroom by being one of the last states in the classroom in this country. Talk about priorities. Speaking of priorities, number two, we wouldn't prioritize banning house cats from swimming pools, would we? Because we know that it's not happening. The same thing like we know that CRT is not being taught in classrooms. Number three, as a history teacher in the state of Oklahoma, how much CRT was you forced to teach in that classroom? Number four, I know as an English teacher in the state of Oklahoma, I wasn't forced to teach any CRT. Number five, as somebody that taught English in this state, I had access to the entire curriculum K through 12. We weren't forced to teach no critical race theory at all. Number six, when you say indoctrination is bad and you follow it with believing in Christian values as the Secretary of Education in Oklahoma, do you not see it as problematic? You recognize that it's not only Christian students in them classrooms. Number seven, when you say America is the greatest country in this world, greatest country to who? Because you say we got to teach all history, right? Number eight, as a history teacher, did you ever teach about the Osage murders that happened in this state? And do you know that there was state-sanctioned violence? Do you think the descendants of the Osage Nation believe that America is the greatest country on this earth? Now, come back. Next point. When we talk about the Tulsa Race Massacre and we talk about how it was state-sanctioned, do you think that the people that still living in North Tulsa believe that America is the greatest country to live in? The contradictions in this video is astronomical. As a history teacher of America, you say America is the greatest country in this world, and then you indict left-wing indoctrination. Sir, left-wing and right-wing literally make up the entire of the government and the entirety of the ideology we teach in this country. In the state of Oklahoma, when students have mascots from elementary school to high school about savages and warriors and chiefs, you don't think that pushes no inferiority to students? As a parent in this state, you don't think my kids feel inferior when they only learn about themselves in terms of being slaves and civil rights activists? In the state of Oklahoma, you can graduate with a 4.0 and not know much about indigenous or black history in the classrooms. Ours is electives and your history is the main core course. Come on now, that's inferior.